So the first card you have your past is the Ace of Wands. Yeah, so this is movement. This is, movement, passion, action, all that kind of thing. The aces are really about the potential of something. It's about what's to come. It's like a promise of something to come. And I'm really getting that promise of something in this card. And it's like it wants you to know. It's like it wants you to know there's something better to come. Because at the moment it feels like not a slump, but it feels like maybe you've had a clean out of people. I know that sounds terrible, but it's like you've kind of people, things, all kinds of things. Like, I don't need this in my life anymore. I don't want this in my life. It's not that brutal, but it's kind of like, I think you've hidden a few people on social media, things like that. I think you're not looking at a lot of things on social media. There's a lot of negativity there. I think, with everything that's happening right now, I think, you look at the things you need to know, but anything else, it's just like it's dragging me down and, oh, I'm so tired of it. I just need to listen to what I need to know, read what I need to know. Anything else, it's just overkill. It's just overloading. And I think with social media, there are a lot of people that are like, oh, me, this is what I'm doing. And look at me, I'm isolating better than these people. People are really like that. It's really ridiculous. So, so I think all of that, you're either hiding people or you're just not looking at that. So it's like you're social distancing of your own accord, really. And so, yeah, you've gotten rid of this big backlog, or not really a backlog, but this kind of big weight. It's like a dead weight of things and people and all kinds of information, and you've kind of thrown it all away. And it feels like you're kind of open. You're kind of open now because you've got that gap there where everything was and you've let go of everything. But it's like maybe you haven't filled up that gap yet, if that makes sense. So you've let go of the things and you're sitting there and thinking, well, what can I fill this with? I've got this gap. Feels like I'm in limbo. I'm at a bit of a crossroads, maybe. But what this card's telling you is it's the promise of things to come. So there's action to come. So if you're sitting there in this gap going, oh, I feel a bit lost. I'm sitting here. I don't know kind of what's going to happen in the future. And everyone feels like that right now. No one knows what's going to happen. Everyone's sitting there going, oh, well, I'm being forced to sit here, and when will this end? What will happen after that? What will the world be like? What will I be doing? All of that kind of thing. But what this is telling you is there's some positivity there. There's lots of action there to come. Yeah, this is what I'm seeing. There's an opportunity. There's an opportunity that's going to come. Now, it's coming from your mind. It's not coming to you, it's coming from you. And what I mean by that is it's like an idea that's going to come to you. And it's very, very different, very unusual. It feels like you might have to get out of your comfort zone to do this. And so if you're sitting in this gap, just try and keep sitting there, if that makes sense. But don't worry about this. Don't look at, oh, what am I going to do? Just sit there, stay open, let the idea come in, try and be as calm as you can, and the idea will come into you. The idea will come. And, this is the Ace of Wands. Action is going to come and you'll know exactly what to do when it does come in. And don't be afraid, because what I'm seeing is this is something that's coming in. Again, I'm seeing this out of your comfort zone thing. So it feels like you might be sitting there and this idea might come and you think, oh, that's a fantastic thing, I can do that. But I don't know if I have the experience in this. I don't know if this is what I really should do. I'm a bit scared of this, actually. So what this is telling you is you do have the experience. You've got the life experience. It doesn't matter about whether you're qualified or whether you're, this or that, or you've got this many years on the job. This is a completely different thing. This is something that's out of all that. And so you've got all the life experience. You've got all the experience to do this. You've got everything to be able to do this. So when this comes into your mind, don't be afraid and don't discount this. Don't go, oh no, I can't do this. Embrace it when it comes in. I'm seeing that quite clearly. When that comes in, that's when the action has to take place. This is the card of action. So sit there, keep an open mind. This idea is going to come in if that all resonates with you, if you feel that that's you. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the Ten of Wands. So look at this. So he's walking along, this man, this poor man. He's got all these wands. He's carrying this big load. And there's something in front of him, but he can't see it yet. So that's where you are. This thing's in front of you. It hasn't come into your mind yet. And when it does, you'll be able to see it, but you can't see it yet. Yeah, this might be something. Yeah, this is what I'm getting. This might be what this idea is about. I don't know, but this is specific, I know, but I'm seeing this. So I'm going to say this. I'm getting support. This man obviously needs support. He's doing everything himself. He's exhausted. So it might be something about supporting businesses. It might be something about, it feels a bit technical. It might be something, it feels remote. It might be something like a virtual PA. It might be something like tax accounting for businesses. It's something to do with supporting other businesses or other people. There's a real gap in this. There's a real gap in the market. People are out on their own. They're working remotely. They're starting up their own businesses online. You'll see all this happening over the next few months. And there's a gap there for you. These people need support. That's kind of what I'm getting, like this man. So I don't know if that applies to you. If it does, take that on board. It might be something about that. But even if it's not about that, if this idea comes, and I think it will, embrace the idea. Don't think, oh, I'm not ready. Do it right away. You've got the action card. Again, I keep on seeing that. I don't mean this to be a work reading, but I'm just getting work things. So the other thing here I'm seeing in this card is, so there's this gap. I keep on seeing this big gap where, you're all opened and, you threw a lot of things away and now you've got this emptiness there. That's kind of what I'm getting. Now there's a little bit of emptiness in your emotions, and that's what this gap's about as well. And I think, because I'm getting that emotional gap, I think there was someone you're missing, or there is someone you're missing right now. It's in the past, so it might still be now, it might have been in the past. So there's someone missing and they're creating a gap because they're not there, they're not around you. So it looks like you're separated from someone. Now, if that's you, if you're separated from someone, if you're missing them, if you're really unsure, you're not sure what to do about this, it feels like there's something stirring up. There's something stirring up. Someone's thinking about something. They're carrying around something with them, like this poor man. They've got this burden. It feels like they want to offload that burden. And I think someone's going to contact you. I think it's this person. It's someone you're missing. They're going to offload something. They're going to offload. They've got this big burden. It's not like they're going to offload all their problems on you, but there is some big thing that it feels like they haven't been telling you, and they might not have been telling you this while they were with you. So because I think with this, there's a separation now because there's this gap between you. I keep on seeing gaps everywhere. So there's this gap between you. There's an emotional gap. So there's a separation. And when you're with this person, it feels like they're acting kind of like everything was fine. Or maybe they were saying, oh, everything's fine. But it's like you could tell something wasn't fine. You're like, no, I know they're telling me everything's fine, but I can feel this. I know something's not fine. Everything's not fine. And it feels like the communication might have been fading away a bit. So it's like it gradually faded and faded and faded, and then it might have even disappeared. And, you wanted to talk about this. This is what I'm seeing. You wanted to talk about something, and the more you wanted to talk, the less they wanted to talk. So it's not like you're bothering them. You just cared. You wanted to talk about this thing. But it drifted away. I'm getting this drifting, and then this communication disappearing. So, there's something they've been carrying around. And I think this might be what they didn't want to talk about, maybe. And you're going to hear from them, and they're going to tell you what this is. And they're going to offload this thing on you. So what I'm seeing is there might just be a tiny little bit of communication to start with, little messages, maybe one message, maybe two little messages or something. It feels like they want to test the waters a little bit just to see how you react, maybe. And the other thing here is, with everyone's kind of thinking, everyone's separated from everyone else. And, I think a lot of people are starting to think, well, when am I going to see them again? I might not see this person again. I might not see that person again. And there might be a bit of that here as well. There might be a bit of that. It's like, I might not see them again. So they're starting to realize, oh, I might never see them again. So there's a bit of that, I think. But it's mostly this letting this thing go and telling you what this thing is. So yeah, there's a definite, I'll just talk about the Six of Cups here because it's really about a similar thing, because that's all about, reunions, all that kind of thing. So there's a definite coming back together, there's communication, so there's coming back together in terms of that. And so it might just be that you're on talking terms for a while and that's it, because this is a platonic card. It's about platonic connections, family reunions, all that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean things can't develop later. They might develop later, they might not. But this is what I'm seeing that's happening to start with. So there's definitely something they want to tell you. It feels like it might be a confession. It's a confession, and they're going to offload, and they've been carrying this around. That's what I'm seeing there. And I'm going to go right to the next card because it's really following on from this, actually. This, the Wheel of Fortune in the present. So, because it's about returns, coming back around again, the wheel turning around. So there's that again. So when I see something several times, it definitely means that someone's going to come back and talk to you and start something up. Now, it might be love at the end, it might not be, but something is going to start. Some kind of communication is going to start. Okay, so there are a few other things here as well in the Wheel of Fortune. It's interesting because I was getting this new thing, this new idea that's coming into your head. And I think this is another reminder maybe that this is the path you should be on. This is what you should be doing. This is the path to fortune. That's what I'm seeing. This is the path to fortune. Better things are coming if you follow this path. That's the message there. There's still that fear there. I'm still getting a little bit of fear. It's like, the potential's there in this thing. I know it's there. But can I do this? Am I qualified? And, as a Virgo, I can see why you'd be worried about this, because you like to do things properly. You're organised, you go by the book, people trust you because you do things properly. And just know this, you don't need to be qualified. You are qualified because you're like this, because you are organised and people trust you. That's all the qualifications you need. So when this comes to you, when this idea comes to you, make a start, do something, take action, don't hesitate. You're going to have to strike. You're going to have to take action. Again, you've got the Ace of Wands here, action. And just looking at this wheel, I'm laughing because it's making me think of, those doors in those big buildings, those big circular doors, and they turn around and you kind of step in and you push the door around and it keeps on turning around and then the next person steps in and someone steps out. That kind of thing? I hope I've described that properly, but the door's coming around to you. The gap in the door's coming around to you. So when the idea comes around, the opportunity comes into your head, step into the door. Step in. Don't worry about whether you're qualified. Don't worry about anything else. Step in and do this. Just step in and do this. There's this gap in the door waiting. Don't leave the gap open. Step into the gap and move in. So that's the message there. Please do this thing. It's very important. It's all over this reading. Okay, so the next card you have you present is the Devil. Yeah. This horrible devil, he's popping up everywhere, actually, like a horror movie. He's everywhere this week. I'm seeing him everywhere. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. Now, I don't want you to worry, but I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the Three of Pentacles as well. So I'm going to talk about both of them together. Okay, so it looks like maybe this confession, it might have something to do with someone else. Now, I know this is the Three of Pentacles. 3 people. So there's definitely another person here. But I'm not seeing a third party. I'm not saying there definitely wasn't one. I'm not saying there isn't one. But this isn't what I'm seeing here. I'm not seeing a third party love situation. That's not what I'm seeing. There's someone else there. There's someone else they're attached to. And it looks like, I'm getting the word toxic. Toxic attachment. I never use that word. I've never used that before. But it kind of feels like I'm being led to say that. Now, okay. Now, I'm not saying this other person was responsible. We're talking about two adults here. Adults are responsible for themselves. But there is some kind of leading, there's some kind of coercion here, there's some kind of influence here. So it might be that one person was influencing them, might be they were both influencing each other at different times. Might be a friend. It might be a friend, it might be someone else. There's someone else with them. And yeah, the other thing is with the sequence between this devil and the Three of Pentacles there. Okay, when you are with them, when you're with this person, if you ever notice them being short of money, or it might even be that they asked you for money, if that's the case, if any of those things happened, it might be that there was an addiction problem. It might be that. Doesn't have to be, but it's a possibility. Or it might be something that they're in once, but they're not now. It might be that. But whatever's happened, whatever this thing is, and it's a toxic thing, it's still in their energy. So, it might be that the past just haunting them in some way, and maybe they owe someone something, I don't know. It's some kind of bad situation, and it feels like it's still around them, it's still in their energy. And the devil is all about, being chained to something. Look at these two people chained. And again, two people. So, it might not be an addiction problem, but that comes up in the devil quite a lot, and it's really kind of working with everything else I'm seeing here. So maybe that, may not be that, just something to think about. It's definitely, whatever this is, it's definitely something they're ashamed of, and they've been carrying that around, and they're going to offload this. So just be prepared to hear of something that's not all that fantastic, but they're going to tell you about what this is. It's all going to come to light, and you're going to be like, oh, that's what this is about. That's what was going on when they weren't talking to me. So that's what I'm getting. Now, something else here. Okay, so, with the Three of Pentacles, look at the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so it looks really, really dark. It looks really dark. So you've got this darkness here in the Three of Pentacles, and you've got the devil right above this as well, which is really dark. Both of these cards are quite dark. So I actually think April's going to be a time of getting out of that dark for you. It's going to be a time of healing. And, there's so much chaos around now, and, people are angry, they're struggling to adjust. And I think for you, you're going to come out of that. And it's going to be a time of kind of just settling, just thinking, contemplating. The Hermit's not here. I'm surprised it's not here. But anyway, so thinking, contemplating, and then there's growth that's going to come out of that. So this might be when you're sitting there and you're just thinking, and then the opportunity comes into your head because there's growth coming out of that. So it might be that. And so, yeah, I know I keep on talking about this work thing, but what I'm seeing here is it's going to push you upwards if you do this. It's going to push you up into abundance. Because if you look at these three coins, they look a little bit like cogs in a machine. They're turning around. So that represents work to me. And, there's an arrow around these coins, and it's pointing upwards. So what this is telling me is the work and the opportunity and the work that you do, that's going to push you up. It's going to help you to rise up out of this gap and this darkness that I'm seeing in these two cards. So that's another message about this thing, to sit there and wait for this idea to come in. And when it comes in, please work with this, because it's going to set you up. It's going to push you upwards. Okay, so we'll move on to the future, which is the Ace of Cups. So yeah, this is love. This is love. So it looks like you are probably going to get together with this person. I don't know, but it looks like you can if you try, because this is about a process, this card. It's about a process. It's about work, and so if they do contact you, and if you do decide to work with this, it's a process, and you're going to have to work together. Now, it can work. It looks very positive when you've got this card here. This is beautiful love. This is beautiful emotion. Now, that doesn't mean you're both just going to say yes and drive off into the sunset. It doesn't mean that. And there's no Ten of Cups here either. So that tells me that we don't know what the ending is going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. There are so many variables here. You know, you've got all these decisions to make. You've got them just testing the waters, lots of slow communication. They've got all these problems around them they want to offload. And, you know, you've got lots of talking to, lots of sorting out. You might even decide not to do this. I don't know. But it does look promising. If you do decide to do this, it looks promising. It does look positive here. And, you know, this is a really emotional card. So if you do communicate, if you do work through this, it's not going to be easy. You know, there are tears here. You can see that. But, you know, what I can say is you've got 2 aces in this reading. So this is about big changes, big passion, big love. So if you want this to happen, if you want these big changes to happen, they can happen. They can happen. But you need to work together. And, okay, there's something else here. Okay, so this is a reminder to you, I think, because I keep on seeing this gap and I keep on seeing this emotional gap. So whatever happens with this love connection, whatever the outcome is, don't rely on them to fill up this gap, and don't rely on anyone to fill up the gap. Don't rely on a lover to fill up the gap. You have to fill that gap up yourself, you know, because this can be about healing. So you need to be in a place where you can give this to yourself. You can fill up that gap yourself. And it's only when you've done that, that's when you'll be able to take on just about anything, whether it's this love connection, whether it's this work thing, whatever it is. But work to fill up that gap yourself with, you know, with self-love, with meditation, with care, with all those things. Give that to yourself. Fill yourself up. That's the message I'm getting there.